For the presentation, the introduction. And first I would like to thank the organization committee to select one of my proposals and to have this oral communication. So today I would like to show you the first slide is an overview of the work we described in my group. So we start from biomass, we try to have add value chemical, and we try to develop ultrasound, microwave chemistry, cyclodextrin, critical fluids, and micellar catalysis. Okay. And we develop two bioadhesive for wood. So today I focus my talk on the organic chemistry in water. So I don't know if water is a green solvent or not, but I decide it's a green solvent for my part. So water is the most inexpensive and environmentally benign solvent. We can develop higher reaction rate and selectivity due to hydrophobic effect of water. We have low solubility of oxygen gas. Okay, so we can work without argon atmosphere, something like that. We don't need to have protection, deprotection state of acidic hydrogen atom. So it's not atom economy, but it's synthetic efficiency. The major drawback of the organic chemistry in water is the low solubility of most organic substrate. So to contour this problem, we can use surfactant or use the cyclodextrin, for example, here. So today I developed the work using surfactant here. So you have an excellent paper of Chile about this organic chemistry in water. So as you know, you have classification of surfactant. You have anionic surfactant, cationic, amphoteric, non-ionic. And you have different shape, like spherical, reverse, cylinder, etc. So the classical conventional micellar catalysis is developed in this slide. So you need to capture the non-soluble compound and reagent. So here you have a nanoreactor, a chemoreactor here. You are able to develop micellar catalysis. You obtain the target compound here. And after that you can have the liberation of the non-soluble target compound here. So the advantage is you respect the green chemistry principle because you use solvent like water. You have a large amount of organic reaction can be carried out by micellar catalysis. You can make solvolysis, oxidation, reduction, and pericyclic reaction. You have an excellent paper of Shukobayashi, who is present today, that work about the esterification micellar system. So the main drawback is the extraction of the target compound and the recycling of the surfactant. So in my group, we develop a new concept, and this one is the use of photochromic surfactant as chemical reactor here for organic reaction in aqueous media to allow the reversible photoorganization and disorganization of the micelle, and thus the possible recycling of the reaction mixture. So the main advantage is green chemistry principle, reversible formation disruption of the micelle. You are able to have extraction of the target compound with organic solvent or not. We can have a potent filtration of the target compound. You can see here, you capture the non-hydrosoluble compound, you can make the micellar catalysis, you can disrupt the organization here, and then you have an equilibrium between micelle and not micelle. So it's a new concept. We have the drawback, of course, extraction of the target compound. Sometimes it's not so easy, and recycling of the surfactant. So to have this equilibrium between micelle or not, we can use photochromic compounds. So here you have different photochromic compounds, pyropyrene, fulgide, etc. We decide to use isobenzene. you have an equilibrium between the transform and the cis form. So classical chemistry of azobenzene, we report a paper 2 or 3 years ago. The main synthesis of azobenzene is Mills reaction or diazocoupling with diazonium salt. So we decide to design 2 photochromic surfactants. So here it's a classical surfactant with an aid, hydrophilic part, a linker. Here you have the chromophore azobenzene on the tail. Of course, you have an equilibrium between the transform with the cis form here. So you are able to make a micelle or aggregate with the transform here, with the CMC1, and you have the CMC2 here. CMC2 is higher than CMC1. So if you stay between CMC1 and CMC2, you are able to organize and disorganize the micelle. So we decide to design 2 target compounds, one and second here. The first one is an ionic surfactant with a carbohydrate chemistry named called BAP-TGA. So you have the BAP-TGA trans and the BAP-TGA cis here. You have the transform here, and here the U form, the cis form. And here you have the non-ionic surfactant azopeg. So you have an azopeg here, azobenzene here, on the tail here. So this one is a new compound of our group, and this one is a compound described in 2003 by Atom. So here in this slide I describe the first synthesis of compound 1. So it's classical organic chemistry. It's not green chemistry because we develop a green concept. So it's classical with the 4-iodoaniline here. We make the nitroso by addition of oxone, and then we add the corresponding aniline here to obtain the azobenzene in 2 steps. After that, we make a classical Sonoka-Shira reaction using organopalladium coupling and the protection of the acetylene to obtain the azobenzene alkene here. After that, it's always, for the synthesis, all is classical organic chemistry. So here is carbohydrate chemistry, starting from glucose, pair acetylation, bromination in alpha position, then nucleophilic substitution to introduce the azido in beta form. Okay. So the coupling between the alkene and the azido here permit to obtain the triazole here. We obtain only one regioisomer. So to obtain the triazole, we can have 2 strategies: the charpless click chemistry or the Wis-Gun chemistry. With the charpless chemistry, we obtain only one regioisomer. With the Wis-Gun chemistry, we obtain a mixture of 2 regioisomers. In our hand, we develop the Wis-Gun chemistry, but we obtain the same regioisomer than the charpless process. Okay. So after that, classical deprotection of the hydroxyl group of the carbohydrate moiety, selective oxidation of the primary hydroxyl group to obtain the carboxylic acid, and conversion of the carboxylic acid to the sodium salt here. And so we obtain the first target compound in different states in 10% overall yield. The CMC of this compound is 3.0 millimolar. It's not a real CMC because we have aggregate. It's not real micelle. So of course we need to demonstrate that we have a reversible equilibrium. So you have the transform here, the cis form here. Here it's an overlaid UV spectra. So here you have the transform, and after irradiation at 365 nanometer, you convert the transform to the cis form. And it's an equilibrium because when you irradiate the solution in 254, you transform the cis form to the transform here. So you have a real equilibrium between the two pressure isomers without degradation. So we developed different model reactions, and today I just present acetylation of amine. Okay, so after optimization with a classical methodology, we use acetic anhydride with 1.5 equivalent in water with or without surfactant at room temperature during 10 minutes. So without surfactant, we have the target compound in 61% yield. So when we use SDS, with a concentration of SDS just higher than the CMC of SDS, 9.0 millimolar, we increase the yield to 74% yield. Using our BAP TGA, after irradiation at the end of the reaction to transform the transform to the cis form, we obtain the target compound with similar yield. Okay? But the concentration of the surfactant is 3.5 millimolar. So the advantage of our BAP TGA surfactant, we use low amount of BAP TGA compared with SDS, because we use only 3.5 millimolar versus 9.0 millimolar. And we have a high recycling with BAP TGA compared with SDS on water. Because when you make the reaction without surfactant, you have always 60% yield after 7 runs. When you use SDS after the 3 first cycle, you have the same yield than those obtained without surfactant. And with BAP TGA, we are able to have 7 runs with higher yield than those obtained without surfactant. So it's really good. Now I would like to present, no, not yet. So, of course, we develop different reactions starting from different annealing. So we have chemoselectivity between amino group and hydroxyl group, okay, with good yield. Sometimes we have regioselectivity, but not often. With the para-nitro derivative, we have no reaction. We are able to use different amine here, okay, and we are able to use different anhydride. So, for example, the C6 here, or the aryl derivative here. We published that 2 years ago, 1 year ago. So now I would like to develop the target 2, so the non-ionic surfactant. So starting from the para-butyl aniline, we make the phenol azobenzene derivative in 2 steps, quantitative yield. Then, in parallel of this synthesis, we develop the PEG activation. So we have a selective activation of one of the 2 hydroxyl group here in 75% yield, and then classical esterification in basic media. We obtain the target compound 2 in 62% overall yield. The CMC, it's an aggregate, but the CMC is 4.1 micromolar. So it's better than the first one. If you compare, here 62% overall yield, here only 10% overall yield, and the CMC is lower here because you have 4 micromolar, here you have 3 millimolar. So, of course, we try different reactions, and we have an interest in my group with the CC coupling reaction, like Suzuki, Sonogashira, Trost reaction, etc. So here we develop today only the reaction the Trost reaction. So we are able to introduce different nucleophiles like an azido, a thiol, etc. Today I present only the sulfone chemistry. So we use organopalladium chemistry, PDC, PDOAC, we don't care about the palladium source, water with or without surfactant. So here we introduce the sulfone, and starting from this platform molecule, we are able to make all the chemistry of sulfone, like a Julia reaction, to make the corresponding alkane, etc. So here is the first part of the table. Using conventional heating in 70 degrees C, 3 hours after optimization by methodology. Without surfactant, we have only 42% yield. With BACTGA, the first target compound, we have no reaction. But with Azopeg, with 0.0123 millimolar, we obtain 83% yield. So it's very good compared without surfactant. The concentration of the surfactant is 3 times the CMC of each one. So if you compare the yield of Azopeg and the yield of CTAB or TWIN20, it's similar. With SDS, the yield is lower. So after that, we try the microwave irradiation. So of course, time it's only 15 minutes. Same concentration than those developed in conventional heating. Without surfactant, only 20% yield. With BACTGA, no reaction. With Azopeg, 64. So it's good. Okay. With CTAB and TWIN20, we have higher yield. Okay, and with SDS, we have lower yield. What we can say? We have a low amount of Azopeg, because if you compare the concentration of our Azopeg, it's nothing, in fact. Okay? And with SDS, CTAB, and TWIN20, we use a lot of amount of compound. We have an high recycling with Azopeg, compared with SDS, TWIN20, and water, and we have similar recycling compared to CTAB. You can see using only water, using SDS, TWIN20, we have only one run. The run 2, we have no reaction. If you compare CTAB and Azopeg, we have similar recycling, but only 3. So to conclude the talk, we synthesize 2 switchable surfactants, the first one, the second one, with different CMC. With the first one, we are able to make classical protection of amine. With the second one, we were able to make organopalladium chemistry, and specifically the sulfone chemistry for the Julia reaction after that. And in progress, you need to have the evaluation of different organic reactions on the type of target, on the scope of the reaction, catalysis, solvent, and substrate. So, what you need to know, I created a new group in September 2009. So after 3 years, we have 9 permanent, okay, 10 PhD students, different postdoctoral fellows, different collaboration and fellowship. And I would like to precise that this work is developed by Estelle Léonard, present today, Carole Villette, Miguel Billambos, and it was, the target one is the work of the PhD student Nicolas Trio, and the synthesis of target 2 is the work of Florian Mangin, that is here today.